How did you guys get involved with the Flint Water Crisis?
So my friend from his name Eric of La Renaissance, uh, he's from Boston, and I connected with him like years ago. It was just I reached out to him and I was like, "Yo, I really respect what you're doing. Maybe we should collaborate sometime." He heard my music. He was like, "Oh yeah, definitely, let's do that." And then we didn't communicate for like man a year and a half, and then he happened to hit me up, wrote me a message, and said, "Hey, I'm putting together this mixtape, hip hop for Flint. Do you want to contribute a song, or do you want to just contribute some words to it to say, hey, we're here in Portland, and we just want to show respect, show support for people of Flint." Da, da, da. And in that moment, I was like, I felt inspired to do a song, and I was just like, "Yo, let's write a song." So I found this beat. I hit up Talilo, and I was like, "Do you want to? Are we still going?" Yeah. And I hit up Talilo, and he was like, "Yeah, I'm down. Let's do this." And I found this beat. This beat seemed to be perfect. And by like the next day, Talilo had finished his verse, and he's like, "Yo, the verse is done." Uh, Sent it to me. That inspired me to finish my verse. So in like 2 days, we had the song pretty much written. And from there, I when writing my lyrics, I had to go do some research and learn more about the Flint crisis because I've heard about it here and there on Facebook, and then I went more in depth and watched the Democracy Now! Segment on it. So yeah, and then we created this art and connected more with Hip Hop for Flint and with releasing it, and here we are.
Purify Me. Who came up with the title?
Talilo.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, I did. I guess I did. Yeah, I got it from the lyrics of we came up with this song, and there's a part in the song that says "Purify Me." It's kind of like a pre-chorus, and then it's through the chorus too. But yeah, it sounded like a title fitting for the message of the song, saying that we still need to work on purifying. It's not like the problem's fixed, it's still a problem. I heard about Flint, Michigan before we did the song, but before we even did the song, a friend of mine, Ben and Natalie, Ben is from Flint, Michigan, and he lives here in Portland, and he came to me asking to help him do a fundraiser here in Portland, and he ended up booking it on a date that they were doing a national day for Flint, Michigan. Everybody was doing a concert at the same time, and he was telling me about his family, like literally like the murder rate being up to 4,000 out there, and like people driving to other cities just to get bottled water, and it takes 160 bottles of water just to do daily stuff like brush your teeth. And like I can't even imagine. Here in Portland, there was a time where we had to boil all our water because of some E. coli in the water. I don't really know what it's like in Flint. I can just imagine what it's like. You know what I'm saying? And I know what it's like to be thirsty. And it's just a human rights violation all across the board, and it shows the conditions of this country and the political system. And when he talked about Nestle, I didn't know about it, and Quincy started talking about Nestle and then how they've been trying to do stuff here in Portland, Oregon, to the Cascade Locks, and that's why we're talking about that. He put that in the lyrics and made it evident that there's these corporations that, man, they just money hungry. And it's messed up because they're messing up the same planet that they breathe and drink from too. So it's crazy.
Quincy, can you talk about your connection to the Flint Water Crisis? What gets you going on it?
Yeah, well, that's a good question because I had to ask that myself before I really sat down and started writing lyrics. Was related to water, and so, like I said, I did the research, and I learned about how there's the connection with Nestle, which is connected with the Columbia Gorge, where Nestle is still trying to come in and privatize water here in Oregon, which would be the first time that a corporation is allowed to do that with, quote-unquote, publicly owned water. So, man, that's like a big red flag, because if that's allowed to happen, what's that leading to? That's a big question. And my relationship with water, this past summer, I went up on the hill for a ceremony called Humblecha Vision Quest, and that involves 4 days of fasting without food or water, out in nature, totally by yourself. So I can remember getting back, and we go back into the sweat lodge ceremony before, to complete the ceremony. And I remember being in the sweat lodge and holding that water in my hand and just truly understanding what it means that water is sacred and like water is life. This is what the elders have taught me. Like, for example, Grandma Agnes, who lives, she's from the Grants Pass area. She's a native elder, and she prays every time she has water. She prays before she drinks it to say thank you, and I truly understood that in that moment. So that influenced the bridge towards the end of the song. What I talk about is Mini Wachoni, water of life, so holy, sacred. What will it take us to remember? Never take it for granted. Tell me what they search for when they look at the planets. Yeah, water is life. To grow the seed into trees, we need the trees to breathe. So it's like, for all human beings, water is truly what life comes from. You know, like life on this planet comes from water. And it seems so obvious, but what if we truly understood that, we as human beings, what would we do differently? You know, and so I want to, I'm asking that myself. You know, it's not like I got it all figured out, but I just want to, share this message through this art, and hopefully it'll reach people, like, for example, the younger generation, to help us to create solutions. You know, because they're the ones who I'm looking to, rather than the government or Congress or whatever to change things. I believe it's the younger generation of visionaries with creativity and with spirit, connected with spirit, are going to be the ones to help us to shift into this new way of life that's required in order to survive, in order to live on this planet, connected with Mother Earth and each other.
Right.